Hello and welcome to Confessions of a Former Corporate Warrior. I spent 22 years in corporate America, and during that time, I had some pretty wild stuff happen to me. On this channel, I share stories of my experiences, and more importantly, the lessons that I learned from those experiences. So let's get into today's episode, which is titled Signs of Retaliation. So I was going through an extremely bad period of time with my management, and I'm not going to get into the details because quite honestly, that's content for a whole other video. But essentially, I was going through this bad time with management. I stood up for myself, and the retaliation started soon after. Here are 4 things that happened to me. 1, my manager cut off all communication with me. We went from talking almost every single day and having a scheduled one-on-one every week to hardly talking at all, and the one-on-one stopped. The second thing that happened to me is that management stopped including me in meetings, whether it be a business meeting on a topic that impacted me or whether it just be a lunch meeting. There was one particular instance where a manager scheduled a lunch meeting with every single female in the state, except for me. The third thing that happened is that resources were cut off for me to do my job. I was in sales, and I was given an annual budget to spend on taking prospects and clients out. And I'd been tracking my budget, and I was pretty confident that at this point in time in the year, I had spent 60% of my annual budget. This was in May. And so I went to my manager and I said, hey, I'm pretty sure I've spent about 60% of my budget. Here's what I'm tracking. Can you check the expense system to make sure that what I'm tracking jives up with what you have on your end? My manager came back to me and said, I can't access the expense system, but I'm pretty sure you spent 100% of your budget. Now, I was pretty sure I'd only spent 60% of my budget. So I went back to my manager and said, okay, well, as soon as you can check the expense system, please let me know. This was in May. I asked the same question in June, asked the question again in July, and asked the question again in August. Every single time I was given the same answer. I can't access the expense system, but I'm pretty sure you've spent 100% of your budget. So I essentially went for 4 months, the entire summer, not doing a core function of my job because my manager stripped my travel budget from me. And the fourth thing that happened is that after experiencing this type of retaliation for several months, I became very sick and came down with the flu. I logged my PTO into the system every single day, and my manager approved it every day. I also emailed my manager and my coworkers, letting them know that I was very sick with the flu and I was going to be out for the week. That Friday, around 4:40 p.m., such a wonderful time to email someone on a Friday, I get an email from my manager saying that he wasn't aware that I was out sick, and how dare I take a week off, and he wants to talk to me first thing Monday morning. So if you're experiencing any of this type of behavior at work, you are absolutely experiencing retaliation. If you have experienced anything similar, please share your story in the comments. It could be extremely helpful to other people that are going through similar experiences. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for my next episode, which is titled Discrimination in the Workplace. See you soon.